I thought it was really important to maybe give you a bit of a background of what an exercise physiologist is. We're still a new profession, so even though I've been practicing for 10 years, when I started I was one of 2 in Hobart. There's about 100 in the whole of Tasmania now, so we're a growing profession, but it's really important for us to get out there what we do and how we might be able to help. So we're an allied health profession, just like a physio, a dietitian, podiatrist, but we study disease and how it affects the human body. So we go right through from pathology of a common disease, through its manifestations and onto treatment. So we do learn about the pharmacology, but most importantly about how lifestyle might be able to help you improve your treatment. To me, psychology is a critical component of what we do. So we don't just give you a script and say, this is what you need to do. We have a really good chat about how you're going to go about that. How can you improve your motivation? How's it going to fit into your everyday life? How are you coping with the exercise and your treatment? So we like to really, and the bottom point there, it's a big part of what we do is liaise with your healthcare team. So I talk to your physiotherapist, I'll talk to your general practitioner and make sure that we're considering your drug treatments, the chemotherapy, all those other treatments that you might be undergoing, to make sure that the exercise that we prescribe suits you and where you're at that point in time. So we give you advice on a key number of areas. Obviously, nutrition's not our main focus, but we can give you some basic nutritional advice, exercise, support through emotional and spiritual means, smoking cessation, and development of support and motivational networks. So wide range of services that we can help with. I really strongly believe in developing a multidisciplinary team to help you through your treatment, and there's a number of professionals that can help you. So everyone right from your oncology team and your general practitioner, and then in your allied health team you might have your exercise physiologist, your dietitian, especially if you're going through gastro-intestinal cancers, that's really important, psychologist or psychiatrist depending on where you're at, and physiotherapist depending on your surgical response and things like that. So a number of people can help you improve your treatment outcomes. Most important thing, initially we help you cope, we want to make you recover, and then we want to help you live your life to the fullest. So where do we start? There's many different areas that we need to address, like we were just chatting about. So physically, how can you include some exercise into your life again? Household chores, things that maybe once you took for granted but now are becoming really, really difficult. Nutritional factors, vitamins and minerals, making sure that you're getting everything you need because you might not be absorbing it as you should. Emotional support, how you're coping. Support networks, things like cooking, things like cleaning, driving you to your treatments, just listening to how you're feeling. These are all really important things during your treatment phases. Spiritually, it doesn't have to mean going to church, it might mean going to a yoga class, something that allows you to relax and not think about what's happening at the present moment. We all need that in life, not just when you're going through cancer. And your healthcare team. So developing a team that's going to help you get the best treatment all the way through in multiple different areas. So potential benefits of including exercise in your rehab program. Obviously improvements in fatigue. Fatigue is a really big concern as you go through your cancer treatment. So we want to make sure that that's under control as best as it possibly can. Improving your bone density. Obviously prevention of co-morbidities is listed down the bottom, but a really big concern is as you go through some of these harsher treatments that osteoporosis and thinning of the bones may happen. So we want to make sure that including some resistance exercise, we can maintain our bone density in the long term. Muscle tone and strength, really important. Again, as you go through treatment, we tend to see people lose muscle tone, become quite sedentary, again associated with fatigue. If you don't move it, you do lose it. So we do need to make sure you do some sort of movement to maintain tone and strength. Physical capacity and level of function, so your ability to be independent, to carry out your normal everyday tasks. It's not always about running a marathon, it's about living. Quality of life, mood, self-worth and confidence. So all those psychological benefits, I could name a million there, but that just gives you a bit of an indicator. And the bottom one, range of movement. Generally after surgery, we need to work on that and make sure that we get you back to full range through joints and limbs and body. So practically applied, exercise really needs to be modified. So one prescription will not suit all of you. It will depend on where you're at with your cancer. So the stage you're at, the type of cancer that you have, the treatments that you are going through, drugs, chemotherapy, radiation, and not just for your cancer, you might have other conditions that might be needed to be considered as well, things like diabetes. So we make sure that we have a good chat about all of those. Things like your energy, stamina, strength and fitness. Everyone starts from a different point. Were you exercising beforehand? That will have a big impact on where you can start. But the most important thing is to be adaptable. So motivation, not everyone wants to exercise, not everyone enjoys exercise, and I guarantee you probably most of the time you're not going to feel like exercising. So it's really important. I think the most important thing is do something that you find enjoyable. That might be simply just walking your dog. Anything is better than nothing. So include something that's okay. Ask for support. A sister, a friend, someone that you can rely on to get you out. That's the most important thing. Try something new and include variety. That tends to work for a lot of people. A lot of people haven't tried yoga. Tai Chi has some fantastic results. So programs like that can be really supportive, and quite often these days they have set programs for people with certain conditions. So I know at my centre we run a particular program for men with prostate cancer. So at different centres you can find programs specific to you and your needs. Set goals and be adaptable. So what would you like to achieve? What do you want to try? What don't you want to try? I think it's really important to have a little think about all of those things, because if you know what you want, then we can help you get there. Okay. So research tells us with exercise a number of things. Your program can be dependent on your personality. It can be in the home, it can be in a gym, it can be supervised, it can be in a group, it can be at the pool, but that one you have to be careful of depending on where you're at. Low to moderate intensity. It doesn't have to be something that gets you gasping or puffing. Okay, make sure you feel comfortable, because again, something is better than nothing. Start slow, and the best advice I can give you is only build up if you're recovering well. Okay, if you pull up really sore or really tired, just pull back. Okay, you don't need to be pulling up so sore or so tired that you can't do anything for a week. That's not the aim of the game. The aim of the game is to get you feeling better. So take it slow. Even if you do 2 reps, and then you can build from that. So start where you're comfortable, recover well, do that a few times, and then you take it up. Really important to warm up and include dynamic stretching. So when you do an exercise session, it's really important to start with something that's very slow. So that might just be a couple of slow laps around your lounge room. Then we include some dynamic stretching. So research has told us over the last few years, you know that old school stretching that you used to do, like this kind of thing, and you might bounce a little bit and then you do this. We don't do that anymore, okay? The idea behind dynamic stretching is to get our muscles loose, blood flow around your muscles, and our joints moving. So you do things like shoulder rolls, you do arm swings, you do leg swings. So things that just get the body moving nice and gently. Okay? None of that static stuff. And if you see your football teams doing that, tell them off. I'm working on my netball club slowly. It can include a wide range of types of exercise. And all of them have their benefits. So I usually recommend a little bit of both, and it might only be one exercise for each. But that's great, you're still doing a little bit of exercise. So resistance is important. That's something that puts load through your muscles. You want to do a bit of aerobic exercise, so you might go for a walk, you might go for a swim, you might get on your bike and go for a ride. That's your aerobic exercise. Your balance, so things to improve your balance and stability is really important, and then your flexibility. You should aim for 3 to 5 days a week, but again, never think that that's what you have to do, okay? You're going to have good weeks and you're going to have bad weeks. So that adaptability is really important. If you do one session, that's fine. That's still better than nothing. And the next week you might get 2. And then you might get 2 again. And then you might get 3. But then you might do 2 again. But then you might do 3, okay? So you just slowly do what you can. And it's really important that you discuss concerns. So if you do have problems, if you have pain that you think is concerning, if you have a change in symptomology, so an increase in fatigue, if your health status change in any way, it's really important that you let your allied health team know. That way, we can adjust your program accordingly. Being adaptable, so that's probably the most important point that I can get across today. Just because you've got a set of exercises doesn't mean that that's what you have to do each and every time. Vary it depending on your energy. Vary it depending on how strong you're feeling. Vary it depending on where you're at in your treatment cycle. So a lot of you might have, chemo once every 4 weeks with radiation, things like that. So you might find on that chemo week you can't. That's fine. You just do it when you can. Listen to your body, do less repetitions, do less range. You complete the exercise how feels best for you. You can split up your plan and rest often. So that means that you might go for a 5 minutes walk in the morning because that's what your energy holds, but then you might find, I feel a little bit better. You might go for 5 minutes walk in the evening. That's great, okay? It can be split up. It doesn't have to be done all in one duration. But the most important thing is enjoy your life as best you can. So smile, laugh, go out with your friends. I think that's just as important as getting out there for a walk or going for a swim.